The film begins with an elderly man reading a book titled In Your Memory at an abandoned station. Meanwhile, we see Jia, the protagonist, heading to a cemetery to visit a loved one's grave. She is overcome with emotion and sheds tears while reminiscing about her high school days with her former boyfriend, Baek Sung-hyun. They often skipped school together, and one day, while playing on old railroad tracks, Sung-hyun revealed to her that he may inherit Alzheimer's disease, just like his mother did. Fast forward to the present, Jia works as a marketing staff at a company and is in a romantic relationship with a co-worker named Sok-jin. However, while hanging out with him on the emergency stairs, she receives a call from her cousin, who is a doctor at the hospital. On the other hand, Sung-hyun has fulfilled his dream of becoming a patissier and runs his own bakery. Despite his good looks and charm, he turns down women who approach him, throwing away their phone numbers. But on this particular day, he bakes a special cake for someone dear to him. Back to Jia, her life takes a difficult turn when her cousin, a doctor, informs her that she has stomach cancer and must undergo chemotherapy immediately. Worried about how her mother will react, she begs her cousin to keep the news from her. The next day, Jia receives a surprise birthday cake delivery. Thinking it's from her mother, she calls her, but to her surprise, it's from someone else. She suspects her best friend, Hae-soon, who she realizes has remembered her birthday. On this happy occasion, she confides in Sok-jin about her illness, which comes as a shock to him. The following day, Jia goes to the hospital and meets a patient with the same illness as hers. Sok-jin comes to visit her, but she has already left by then. She urges her cousin to keep her illness from her mother before heading back to her hometown. Before leaving, Jia has a conversation with Sok-jin. He asks her when she will start her chemotherapy, and she reveals that she plans to wait until after she has seen her mother. When Jia reaches her hometown, she meets her mother, and despite being ill, she puts up a brave front and acts as if everything is normal. There, she also meets Hae-soon and another close friend Dong-chan. Then, she asks about her ex-boyfriend Sung-hyun, and Dong-chan tells her that he now runs a bakery. Upon learning that Sung-hyun sent her a birthday cake package, Jia feels annoyed and wonders who gave her address to him, but her friends refuse to confess. During the meeting, Jia discovers that Sung-hyun's bakery is named after her childhood nickname, which leaves her surprised and wondering if he still has feelings for her. She remembers he telling her years ago that he would leave school to learn how to make cakes and that he would separate from Jia. He had also told her to contact him when he could still remember her. Meanwhile, at the restaurant where Jia has gone to the toilet, Dong-chan reveals to Hae-soon that he has secretly contacted Sung-hyun and asked him to come over. On the other hand, Sok-jin is deeply saddened after finding out about Jia's terminal illness. He is afraid that he might lose her one day. At the restaurant, Jia was feeling overwhelmed and decided to take a break outside. Suddenly, Sung-hyun appeared and things became awkward. At that time, Hae-soon and Dong-chan left them alone to talk, but the conversation was still tense. There, Jia thanked Sung-hyun for the birthday cake he had sent her and asked him how he remembered her birthday. Then, he said he remembered everything about her and wanted to prove it. During their conversation, Jia remembered that Sung-hyun had once asked her to stop contacting him, which made her angry. Shortly after, Jia tried to leave, but Sung-hyun stopped her and said he had been waiting for her call. However, she didn't say anything and left. That night, Jia told her mother, Kyung-suk, that she was taking a year off from work. Kyung-suk was worried that Jia might lose her job if she took too many days off. Then, she reassured her mother that everything would be okay, even though she had actually resigned from her job to do chemotherapy elsewhere. The next day, while packing her things, Jia found a necklace that reminded her of something. She contacted Hae-soon and met up with her friends to lift her spirits and avoid getting lost in sadness. As the night falls, Jia coincidentally runs into Sung-hyun, who was closing his bakery. However, she tries to act casual and pretends that she is just passing by. But Sung-hyun is quick to invite her to dinner, and they spend time together reminiscing about their past. There, Jia even tries to ask Sung-hyun out on a date, but he gets flustered and chokes on his food. Despite her attempt to rekindle their relationship, Sung-hyun declines her offer, which leaves her disappointed. Meanwhile, Jia's mother, Kyung-suk, is dining alone when she receives a call from Jia's cousin, who informs her that Jia has stomach cancer. At that moment, she is heartbroken and devastated by this news. Later, when Jia returns home after dinner, Kyung-suk is waiting for her and asks why Jia didn't tell her about her illness. Then Jia reveals that she had chemotherapy 2 years ago, but it was unsuccessful as the cancer had spread throughout her body. Despite her mother's plea for her to undergo chemotherapy again, Jia feels that it is pointless. This revelation makes Kyung-suk cry as she realizes the extent of her daughter's suffering. The following day, Jia and her mother visit her father's grave. While Jia takes a moment to calm down, Kyung-suk breaks down in tears. She cannot bear the thought of her child suffering and wish that she was the one who was sick instead of Jia. Before leaving, Kyung-suk asks Jia what she wants, and she responds that she wants to start dating. She also tells her mother about being rejected by Sung-hyun, despite being confident that he still likes her. Without her knowledge, Kyung-suk goes to Sung-hyeon's place and encourages him to have a relationship with Ji-ah, without revealing that her time may be limited. Hearing that, Sung-hyeon is left confused. Meanwhile, Ji-ah's illness flares up and she is rushed to the hospital. Kyung-suk tells her friends about her situation, and Sok-jin rushes over to be with her at the hospital. There, he asks Ji-ah to return to Seoul to receive chemotherapy, but she is reluctant to undergo the treatment. Soon after, Sung-hyeon arrives at the hospital and learns about Ji-ah's illness for the first time. He feels overwhelming sadness and even destroys the bread he had made. Suddenly, Ji-ah's cousin asks Kyung-suk to convince Ji-ah to undergo chemotherapy, but she still refuses, wanting to live her last days on her own terms and do everything she wants to avoid any regrets. A few days after Ji-ah had some time to rest and enjoy the scenery by the lake, Sung-hyeon unexpectedly asked her out on a date. Although she was surprised, she agreed because her best friend already knew about it. The next day, Ji-ah wanted to share something with Sung-hyeon, but he requested they talk elsewhere. He took her to a place that was already decorated and filled with her friends and cousins. To Ji-ah's surprise, Sung-hyeon had arranged a surprise proposal. Seeing that, Ji-ah was taken aback since they had only just started dating the day before. Then, Sung-hyeon explained that he had known her for a long time and wanted to spend the rest of his life with her. However, it soon became apparent that Sung-hyeon had proposed because he knew about Ji-ah's limited time due to her illness. This revelation angered her, and she ran away. Shortly after, Hae-soon chased after her to console her. There, Ji-ah didn't want a partner who only proposed because of her illness. Ji-ah was angry with her mother because she thought that her mother had told Sung-hyeon about her illness, even though she didn't. However, Kyung-suk wanted her to accept Sung-hyeon's proposal because they loved each other, but she was worried about what would happen to him after she died. There, Kyung-suk was also confused and didn't know what to do to help Ji-ah. At the same time, Hae-soon overheard their conversation and couldn't help but cry when she found out that Ji-ah didn't have much time left. Later, Sung-hyeon found Ji-ah and took her to his apartment, where he had covered every surface with notes about her so he could remember everything about her. He also revealed that he had Alzheimer's disease and had to write things down to remember them. This revelation made Ji-ah sad and shocked as she remembered his words in the past. Soon after, Sung-hyeon tells Ji-ah that if she rejects him, he will forget their love and propose to her again and again. He reassures her that she doesn't have to worry because eventually they will both forget everything. When Ji-ah shares Sung-hyeon's illness with her mother, Kyung-suk encourages her to accept his proposal despite the sadness it will bring. There, Ji-ah can only cry as she realizes that the person she loves will soon leave her.
그게 무슨 소리야?
The story flashes back to their high school days when Sung-hyeon gives Ji-ah a necklace which she still keeps to this day as it reminds her of their first kiss. In the present, Ji-ah visits a place where she has fond memories with Sung-hyeon. Suddenly, he appears and still wants to propose, but Ji-ah initially refuses because she doesn't want to cause him more pain. However, he reminds her of his desire to remember her until the very end. After much discussion, she ultimately agrees to accept his proposal.
충분해.
Long story short, Ji-ah and Sung-hyeon who got married and moved into their brand new home together. When they were packing, he was amazed to find that Ji-ah still kept the necklace he had given her as a gift. As time passed, Sung-hyeon's Alzheimer's disease worsened and he had to be more diligent in reading his memory books to avoid forgetting important things. One day, Ji-ah wanted to plant some new plants in their yard, but Sung-hyeon was surprised that she still kept the necklace even though he knew about it before. Realizing that his illness was getting worse, he went to see a doctor to seek treatment. During his visit to the hospital, Sung-hyeon met with some grandmothers who were also struggling with Alzheimer's disease. Grandmothers shared that she carried a necklace with her at all times so that she could remember her family. One day, Sung-hyeon was cleaning and accidentally dropped a bag containing Ji-ah's medicine. He placed the bag in a different drawer, and when her illness suddenly relapsed that evening, she asked Sung-hyeon to get the medicine from the kitchen. Then, Sung-hyeon searched for the medicine but was confused as he had forgotten where he kept it. Despite the challenge, he kept looking for the medicine until he found it. This incident made him sad because he often forgot to give Ji-ah her medicine. However, Ji-ah tried to comfort Sung-hyeon by hugging him, and when she fell asleep, he went to the place where they had their first kiss to create a lasting memory. He also made a video to remember the place in the future. The next day, Sung-hyun and Jia were having a meal together when she suddenly got up and left. There, Sung-hyun noticed that she had left something on her plate, which reminded him of a conversation they had when it rained heavily. Soon after, Jia had said that she liked the rain because it reminded her of her father, and she had also mentioned that she wanted ice cream. Hearing that, Sung-hyun rushed to the convenience store to buy ice cream but, unfortunately, forgot his umbrella and ATM card. Suddenly, his Alzheimer's disease relapsed, and he could not remember the direction to go back home, so he wandered aimlessly under the heavy rain. When Kyung-suk visited Jia, she found her lying helpless and was surprised. At the same time, Sung-hyun was still wandering aimlessly in the rain, feeling frustrated and unable to remember anything. He became so upset that he smashed the ice cream he had bought. At that time, Jia's mother and her best friend were panicking because they couldn't contact Sung-hyun, while Jia was rushed to the hospital. Meanwhile, Dong-chan went to look for him. Eventually, Sung-hyun found his way home and was confused when he discovered that Jia was not in their room. Not long after, Dong-chan delivered the devastating news that Jia had passed away and could no longer be saved. Hearing that, Sung-hyun was heartbroken and couldn't stop crying because he could not be by her side in her last moments. After several months since Jia passed away, Sung-hyun tries to remember the memories he shared with her. He found a video that he recorded earlier and went to the place where they had many memories together. There, he found Jia's cell phone and the necklace that he had given her before. At that moment, Sung-hyun couldn't control his emotions and tears flowed down his cheeks. He watched the video that Jia had made before, where she expressed that he was the person she would always remember until her last breath. Even though their time together was short, she was grateful that she spent it with him, the person she loved deeply. Interestingly, the old man who was shown at the beginning of the story was Sung-hyun, who had grown old but had never forgotten about Jia. He kept her memory alive in his heart. The film ends. The moral lesson of this film is that we should not waste the time we have with the people we love because we never know when it will be the last time we see them. Therefore, it's essential to cherish and value every moment with our loved ones, appreciate their presence, and make meaningful memories that we can cherish forever. We should also strive to be kind, caring, and understanding towards them, and always express our love and gratitude to them so that they feel valued and appreciated.